Hey everybody. Thought I'd do a real quick video here. I had some interesting revolvers come across the workbench. Um, I thought you guys might be interested in knowing a little bit about them. I've got a batch of Remington revolvers, and I'll be doing this in several installments, but these revolvers are what I would consider a barn find. They've been sitting in storage for 35 plus years, and they've just come out of storage. They're in a private collection, and I have been lucky enough to actually be the person to go over them, clean them up, make sure everything functions properly, and I find this a true privilege. The first two I'm going to address in this video are Remington model 1890s, or what they consider a Remington New Model Army. These are really very, very rare single action revolvers. The first one I'm going to bring up and show you is a Remington, they call it a New Model Army. It's in the typical 7 3/4 inch barrel length. The overall condition is pretty nice. I mean, there's great patina on this gun. Not a whole lot of bluing left on it. It's missing the lanyard, the lanyard ring, but functionally, the gun functions flawlessly. It's in superb condition for its age, and all in all, it's what I would consider a very good example of a Remington Model 1890 7 3/4 inch barrel single action Army revolver. These guns were made, obviously it's Model 1890. The production dates are 1891 to 1896. So they only made these guns for 5 years, and they only made approximately 2,020 of them altogether. This particular model that I'm featuring here is marked with the number 1970. Now, Remington, unlike Colt, didn't really serialize each firearm. They're considered batch numbers. Now, I don't know if this is 1,970 out of 2,020, or if it's batch 1970 out of the total run. Someone may know more about this than me, but I don't really find it clear. This gun is in the Model 1890s, were only made in one caliber, which was 44 Winchester, or commonly referred to as 44 CFW, which most people will recognize as the traditional cowboy round of 4440. Now, I showed you the picture of the one with the 7 3/4 inch barrel, and you know, and that's great because these are rare guns. However, I also have a version in 5 3/4 inch barrel. Now, this gun is marked as 1,436, and the short barrel, you know, the 5 3/4 inch barrel is what they would call the New Army Pocket model. Take that for what it's worth. Obviously, in the 1850s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, most of your Army models were 7 3/4 inch barrels. That was the thing of the day. and the shorter barreled versions were considered pocket models. Now, most cowboy action shooters prefer the shorter barrels today. It's preference of the time. When these guns were made, it was really at the end of the single action army era. 1890, everyone was really revolving or evolving out of the single action army phase. You started seeing double action revolvers. Then, as you start getting into the turn of the century, you started seeing semi-automatic, handguns. I mean, these were the last of the big bore revolvers to really see a lot of production. Interestingly enough, when these guns were produced, the retail of these guns was $10.70, which obviously by today's standards would be a monstrous bargain. But if I did a conversion, and by inflation standards, this gun at $10.70 in 1890 would be considered equivalent to $302 in today's money, which again, I mean, I don't know if you can actually, they do repro these. Uberti makes a repro. I believe a couple other companies do as well. And I don't necessarily know if you can buy a modern reproduction of this firearm for $300. So, I mean, I think it was a bargain price at the time. Now, this particular example, I bring up the long-barreled gun as well. The patina on it is just, I mean, it's amazing. I mean, there's really no major pitting, no major rust on it. But the patina is just absolutely amazing. I mean, these are fine examples of very rare Remington revolvers that most people don't see. A lot of people may not even be familiar with the model 1890. Most people are familiar with the 1858 or the 1875. They were more common. More to come on those models, by the way. But right now, the 1890, very unusual, very rare. I'm personally just, I'm amazed that I even get to touch these guns. I mean, again, a 2020 production run. These guns are very rare. From a collectible point of view, I know most guys are like Colt this, Smith & Wesson that, but these guns are as rare as hen's teeth. And the fact that I actually get to show these to you on video is amazing to me. And this particular gun is so exquisite. I can't even tell you how excited I am to hold this firearm in my hand. It's probably one of the most exciting guns I've held in the past 25 years. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this installment. I've got more installments on Remington revolvers to come. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section, and I'll try to answer them to the best of my ability.